Good evening. My name is Bill Riechmann. I am the CEO of Riechmann Brothers. I'd like to welcome everyone to our 100th anniversary celebration. I hope you've enjoyed viewing the equipment from the past 100 years, as well as the food and drinks. It's been a pleasure for our family to serve this farm community for 100 years. We'd like to thank all of our employees, who I think you will all agree are the best in the business. Most importantly, though, we'd like to thank our customers, who are the reason we have been able to continue to do what our grandfathers started in 1922, and that is provide the best product, the best service in the industry. Again, thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening.
More likely, a farmer's wife. I have embellished the essay in places, I have cropped it in others. I hope the sense of it remains intact. And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn and milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, and then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, and have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, and then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die and then dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout and shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painin' from tractor back, put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales and yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend to pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners, somebody to seed, weed, and feed and breed and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing. Somebody who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
Riechmann Bros is a 100-year-old family business and is the oldest continuous John Deere dealership in the state of Illinois. Riechmann Bros was founded by Hugo and his brother Walter Riechmann on December 23, 1922. The brothers borrowed $4,000 from a local bank to start the business. The first check was written to C.H. Erkey, the man whom Hugo had been employed by for 2 years as a salesman. The $3,400 check paid for the entire business inventory. The remaining $600 was left to do business, as they had no money of their own. The first day they were in business, Hugo and Walter's other brother William stopped in and bought a buggy whip. One of the first checks went to the local wagon maker for a spring wagon bed for $100. When the business traded in buggies, there was no market for those, so Hugo would take the buggy parts off and mount a spring wagon bed on the running gear. Farmers would use these to haul milk cans and supplies to and from town. John Deere had a policy back then that all the parts that were ordered were shipped on consignment, and at the end of the year, John Deere would send a crew to count the inventory. We were only billed for what had been sold. These early years, John Deere reps would all come to Okawville on the train because the roads and the automobiles were not good enough. Parts would also come by Railway Express until the roads and vehicles got good enough in the late 1930s. In the 1920s and 30s, Riechmann Bros had a blacksmith who welded iron and sharpened plowshares in the forge. In the early years, the only work in winter was on 1.5 to 6 horsepower gas engines to chop feed. Cars were put away on blocks until spring because the roads were too muddy and people used horses and buggies. In 1928, Riechmann Bros bought the automobile business next door. In the late 40s and early 50s, as many cars and trucks were sold as farm equipment, but as the autos got fancier, the car business was phased out. When the brothers bought the business, they had 2 contracts, John Deere and Massey Harris. In the early 30s, Riechmann Bros demonstrated a Massey combine, the first in Washington County, at the Fred Gaby farm west of Addyville. Deere and Massey both were pushing the brothers to choose one or the other to sell. Hugo liked the Massey binder better, but preferred the John Deere tractor and thought the tractor was the wave of the future. So they let the Massey Harris contract go. At the death of Hugo in 1958, William was 21 and Lloyd was 15, and they were thrust into the business as the second generation at a young age. Walter continued in the business and took care of the parts and service. After Hugo died, William still traded for 4 teams of horses and 1 team of mules. Following his high school graduation in 1960, Lloyd went to auctioneer school in Mason City, Iowa. He had his first auction for the Hepker estate in October 1960. In 1979, Riechmann Bros built its third and present building at the south entrance of town. The Breeze dealership was acquired in 1988, and the Centralia dealership was acquired in 1998. The Farina location was acquired in 2017, and in 2021, a new Breeze dealership building was built and was open for business in January of 2022.
Todd Wachtel from Altamont, Illinois. I'm part of Wachtel Farms. I farm with my dad and my uncle. Our farm's been here since 1893, and I personally have been farming for 30 years. We've done business with Riechmann Brothers since Riechmann bought the Farina location from Greenline in, I think, 2017, is that right, or 2018? Somewhere around there. And I have to say, we're a little nervous going in, but couldn't be happier with how it's turned out so far. Several reasons. Feels like they've always treated us fairly when we're pricing machinery. Their parts inventory is second to none, and their employees have always gone above and beyond our expectations to help keep us going and help keep us efficient. Well, one interesting story, I guess, would deal with my last answer of why we do business with Riechmann's. And over the first year or two, I was sending Bill Riechmann texts all the time saying, your employees did this for us, and went above and beyond expectations. And I found myself texting Bill less and less, and it's not because the services has been subpar, it's because Riechmann's have raised our expectations of what good service should be. So we're very appreciative of that. First of all, congratulations on 100 years of being a John Deere dealer, which is quite the accomplishment. I don't think that's going to happen to a lot of dealers, so that's really, really awesome, and hope we can be, a part of your success story moving forward for the next few decades.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Brewer. I started farming in 1979. I'm the first generation. My parents didn't farm, so I started from scratch. Right when I first started doing business with Riechmann Brothers, they were supposed to come out and work on a combine of mine, and Frank called me. This has been quite a few years ago, and Frank called me. He said, "Where's your combine at?" And I said, "Well, it's sitting in my house." He said, "What, is it locked in the shed?" And I said, "No." Well, he said, "I'm going to be there early, so I don't want to have to wait on you to get up." And I said, "Well, you ain't going to be there before me." And I was putting my shoes on and sitting on the back step of the house at 5:15, and here Frank pulls up. So he was right about getting here early. Them technicians they get up on the ball and they get things done early. I originally was dealing with another John Deere dealer years ago, and every time I needed parts, Riechmann Brothers at Okawville had the parts. So I was always going there and getting parts. So I thought, well, I might as well try to buy something here. And we just started doing business probably 20 years ago. I've been doing all my business there since then, and they've been great to work with. They got the parts, I'll say that much, in the service. I appreciate them guys. They sure got a lot of good technicians, a lot of good people, parts people and salesmen. They do a great job to keep up the good work. I want to wish them happy 100th anniversary and hope to have many more.
Hello, my name is Darren Schnitker of Schnitker Farms. We have been doing business with the Riechmann family for nearly 60 years. Some of the great attributes the Riechmann family bring to the table is their honesty, their integrity, and their loyalty to their customer. As a customer, your business, your farm means a lot to them, and this is why we have been doing business there for all of these years and will continue to support the Riechmann dealerships in the future. I also want to say a sincere congratulations to the Riechmann family for achieving the 100 years in business and earning the North American Dealership of the Year award. Thank you and keep it up.
Jeff Renegarby goes as J&G Enterprises. I've probably been farming for 45, 46 years, just out of high school, so that tells you how old I am. We like doing business with Riechmann's because the service is exceptional, and that's worth a lot. You can't put a value on that. So that's really the main reason. What really got us to Riechmann's is they're the family company, and if you need a part on Sunday, you give them a call, they'll go up there and get it for you. It's not a problem. So that's a big plus. I just want to say congratulations on 100 years, and hopefully another 50 at least, if not 100 more.
Yeah, I'm Chad Roderman. I farm my two brothers. We are a family farm. We pretty much took the farm over from our parents in 1999. And we are a grain and livestock farm. We raise contract finish hogs, and we raise Holstein steers for finish. Actually, when we started farming, we were pretty well all Case International and International, and we switched over to the John Deere, and pretty much now we're all buy all John Deere, and just for the technology, and seems like their equipment's always 1 or 2 years ahead of everybody else in the market. So they've been helping us out several times. I mean, with farming a very large area, I mean, it seems like we can call, and within a few hours we're back in motion. And with the livestock, we've always had problem. You know, if we have a skid loader go down or a loader tractor, they'll bring us one to use or whatever it takes to use. It is hard to come by, and 2 stores within 15 miles of us is really a benefit. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, just dealing with the salesmen and the technicians. They got a great group of technicians, and when we do a large purchase, it's nice that we know whenever the equipment's going to come in, you can pretty much do it on a handshake, and everything is, you don't have to worry about having everything written down and have to worry about if the deal's going to go through or not. That is a big plus, because it seems like now it's hard to find a person's word that'll stay behind it. And like I said, the technicians and the parts, it's just helpful where we can go anywhere and they'll have a part for us most of the time. And congratulations on 100 years, because that's a long time to be in business, a family business for 100 years, especially multi-generations.
Hi there, my name's Greg Bigham, Pinckneyville, Illinois. Farm here with my brother Alan and my daughter Macy, son Grant, son-in-law Ryan, and some friends that also enjoy farming. I want to congratulate Riechmann Brothers on 100 years. I don't know how many businesses survive 100 years, but I'm sure it's not many. That's kind of a testimony of how stubborn the Riechmanns are, I think. Our farm is located between multiple dealerships, and I remember probably 13 or 15 years ago sitting under a shade tree in the summer visiting with Bill, and we liked what we heard, and we started buying equipment a little bit then, and their service is fantastic. We always joke that Frank is like a ninja. If we have a problem, he seems to show up. It might be at 5 o'clock in the morning, or it might be at 8 o'clock at night. But I just want to congratulate those guys on running a great business. I think one of the keys for their business is that they're like a family farm. They're also a family dealership, and when you have that many people that take ownership of the dealership, I think that transfers throughout the rest of the crew, and it leads to success. And so hopefully many more years and more generations coming. So once again, congratulations to the whole crew.
I'm Dwayne Mulholland, and we farm under the name Mulholland Farms Incorporated. And my dad and I used to farm together, and he passed away, but I got 2 son-in-laws, Wes Fritchie and Kenny Bornpole, that farm with me now. Hey, we've been doing business with Riechmann Brothers since, I think we bought a combine in 1981, and I think that might have been about the first thing we bought from them, and I think everything John Deere's come from them since. We've been real happy with the people and the service and the parts. Just cannot beat their service and parts, and got to be good friends with them. And Billy and I even do a little tractor pulling on the sides. One of the neat things is one day we broke a belt on our combine, and I called them to see if they had somebody who could come down and work on it. And before I got off the phone, Frank had pulled into the field, and Lloyd was on his way down with the belt. And by the time Frank got the belt off, Lloyd was there, and they got me going within a half hour. It was just unbelievable. Well, I think they just got another big award here a week or two ago. I'd like to congratulate them on that, and just hope they continue on as they are. It couldn't get any better.
Hi, my name's Steve Ari. I live at Nashville, Illinois. Farm with my wife, Shelley, 2 daughters, Shay Wigman and Shannon Provart, and her husband, Josh. And I've been farming ever since I got out of high school. You know, I was 6 years old and I can remember the first 40-20 coming down the road. So that's as long as I can remember. It's always been Riechmann Brothers ever since that. I always know my dad told a story years ago. They test drove a 560 International, which he drove, and they test drove a 730 John Deere diesel, which my grandpa drove. As in all father-son relationships, Grandpa won, and we've had John Deere ever since. So I'm kind of glad Grandpa did win that battle. We've always commented on Riechmann's quality and timeliness of service, and got a buddy over on the other side of the county by the name of Donnie Huffman, and he's always compared Riechmann Brothers to an ambulance. He said, I think if you call Riechmann Brothers and 911 at the same time, the ambulance, Riechmann Brothers might win 9 out of 10 times. So that's an attribute to their fast and friendly service. As neat as this the day is about the 100th anniversary of John Deere, Riechmann's and John Deere, it's more an attribute to me, to the Riechmann family, and all they've stood for and built throughout the years. I don't think it would have made any difference what brand of equipment they sold, as long as they had the dedication that they do. They'd still be in business 100 years. And along goes with that, all through all the years that I've been affiliated with Riechmann's. You know, first it was the Kenny Ranagarby and Ralph Schmiersall show, and now it's Tallmark and Frank has kind of took over the reins. I look forward to working with the next generation of mechanics, because they're as important as anything that has made Riechmann Brothers what they are today.
Down by the railroad track, shooting BBs at old beer cans, choking on the smoke from a Lucky Strike somebody lifted off of his old man. We were football flunkies, southern rock junkies, cranking up the stereos, singing loud and proud to Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man, and Curtis Slow. We were good, you know. Got some discount knowledge at the junior college where we majored in beer and girls. It was all real funny till we ran out of money and they threw us out into the world. Yeah, the kids that thought they'd run this town ain't running much of anything. Just loving and laughing and busting our asses, and we call it all living the dream. But these are my people, this is where I come from. We're giving this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. It's the way we were made, wouldn't have it any other way. These are my people. Well, we take it all week on the chin with a grin till we make it to a Friday night. And it's church league softball, holler about a bad call, preacher breaking up a fight. Then later on at the Green Light Tavern, well, everybody's gathering as friends, and the beers are pouring till Monday morning, and we start it all over again. And these are my people, this is where I come from. We're giving this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. It's the way we were made, wouldn't have it any other way. These are my people. We fall down and we get up. We walk proud and we talk tough. We got heart and we got nerve. Even if we are a bit disturbed, my people. This is where I come from. We're giving this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. It's the way we were made, wouldn't have it any other way. Oh no, these are my people. Yeah. Woo.
Well, we thank you for coming today to help us celebrate the anniversary. We owe it to you, our loyal customers, and the wonderful employees that we have now and have had through the years. We have all of you folks to thank, and we have John Deere Company, who always had the technology to keep us on top of things. We owe it all thank yous to all of you, and we hope that we can continue for many years. Thank you.
To our anniversary party, where the family has been proud to serve you all these years, and we thank you for the business. We're just the providers. Without our customers, you are the most important part to us. Thank you.